it's Tracy and I'm back, and it's been several weeks since I've filmed a video. I went on vacation and it's been kind of busy at work, and so I just really haven't been able to actually sit down in front of my camera and just talk to you guys. So bear with me if I start to flub my words. If you do YouTube videos, you know that if you haven't filmed anything for a couple weeks, you start to sort of get a little rusty, and so I might stutter a little bit or whatever, but I figured the best way to start filming again would just to see but I figured the best way to start filming again would be to do some sort of update, and I know that hair update number 3 is due, or part 3 of my little hair story is due, so I figured that's what we'd film today. So today I'm going to talk about biotin, hair loss, updates on keratin treatments, etc, 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 haircut. So first I'll start with the haircut. I did get a haircut about a week and a half ago when I was in DC. I didn't get anything special. It was really just sort of like a maintenance cut. I just cut off, maybe an inch and a half or so of my hair just to keep it maintained. I went to Bubble Salon, and I've gone to Bubble Salons before. Now typically, they are pretty reasonably priced. If ever I get a haircut down here, like in South Florida, to get the works, like to get like a haircut and like shampoo and all that stuff, it's like well over $100. Like I'm looking at probably like $150, and that's why I don't get haircuts very often, because I don't know, I just feel like I'm just getting like a maintenance cut. I'm not getting like any sort of style or anything. So to spend like a couple $100 on a haircut is, you know, after tip and everything included, is a little pricey. So I usually, whenever I go up north to the DC, Maryland area, I will try to get a haircut up there because Bubble Salon that my cousin goes to, are pretty reasonable in price. So I did, it was more than usual. Like before I would go and it had only been like $65 or something total. But this time I went and it was like $80, which was still cheaper than if I were to get a haircut here. I had a new girl cut my hair that had never cut my hair before, and she was like, it's so funny when I walk into the salon, and I was tweeting the whole time because people think that my hair is so difficult to manage, and it's not. Like, it really isn't. It actually really, it's just long. Like, it's long and thick, but it's not even that thick. I mean, if I can do it, and I'm not a professional, I feel like professionals who have been trained to do it should be able to do it just fine. But I walked in and she looked at me and like she was about to pass out, like, oh my gosh, you have so much hair, oh my god. And I'm like, really? Like, I don't really have that much hair. I promise it's not. And I walked in with like my hair in a braid, so it wasn't even like it was like all curly and out there. So that's what was so funny, is I was like, my hair really is not, I promise you, it's not that difficult to deal with. So anyway, when she got started, she realized that it really was not as complicated as she had thought. It's just long and, you know, thicker than most people's. So, but not, you know, in any way, shape, or form, like, hard to manage, I would say. So, got the haircut, so that was the first update, and I'll probably get another one sometime in December if I go back up north, or find somebody in South Florida that I'm like, okay, you're awesome, and you can cut my hair all the time, and you don't cost me $200. So I'll probably get one, yeah, later on. So for now, just a trim is fine, and I needed to get a trim because of the biotin that I was taking. I actually had to stop taking biotin because it was causing my hair to just grow too much. Like, I couldn't, it was almost like it was growing so fast that I couldn't keep up with, like, the health of it. Like, I found that the ends were starting to get a little more stragglier than normal because it was just growing fast. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I stopped taking biotin, like, about a month after I posted that video, just because I felt like my hair normalized, and so I'm not having, like, all the, like, the telogen effluvium is gone. I'm not having all of the, hair loss that I was having, and so I didn't really, that's what I started taking the biotin for. Anyway, I really wasn't taking it for hair growth. My hair grows at a pretty decent rate. Like, I don't have a hard time growing my hair or anything like that. The only problem I was having was the hair loss, and so I wanted to counteract that with a little biotin. So I feel like the biotin did its job, and it was time for me to let go of it, because yeah, it was just causing my hair to grow a little faster than I was able to keep up with it, and that's why I got the haircut. So that is my biotin update. Telogen effluvium, again, my hair has normalized. I'm not having, you know, clumps of hair come out anymore now that, and which is what I'd read, and if you've watched that video, which I'll post all these videos down below, but if you watch that video, I said, if you're experiencing hair loss from like a major life change, like a diet change or pregnancy or anything like that, it's normal, it'll go away after a few months. So after a few months, it actually did stop you know, I'm not losing hair, I'm not shedding anymore, I'm not going like this and finding like strands. Okay, so I did want to address some of the questions that I always get on my videos regarding keratin treatments, or sometimes I'll get like emails or tweets about it, and it's hard to respond to all of them because I do get a lot of questions about keratin treatments, and I feel like a lot of the questions are addressed in the videos, but let me just give you sort of an overview update of keratin treatments. Keratin treatments are they're put in your hair to help to defrizz and loosen some of the curl. Now, because it's keratin, you're infusing your hair with keratin, which is a protein that your hair already has anyway. If your hair is damaged, it will appear and actually be healthier. It'll be sleeker, smoother, shinier when you have the keratin treatment in your hair. They don't last for a very long time. They probably last, depending on how you shampoo, if you go to the pool, if you go to the beach, they're gonna last anywhere. I've seen keratin treatments, you know, like that you can buy from the drugstore that are like 2-week keratin treatments all the way up to like 4 months. I feel like every time I've gotten a keratin treatment, it's lasted like 4 to 5 months. I've done several. I've gone to several salons to get my keratin treatment done, and I did an at-home keratin treatment called Keratin Earth, and I have a video about that I will link down below. I do highly recommend them. They were all the keratin treatments that I've ever put in my hair were formaldehyde-free. I really wanted to make a point to use like a formaldehyde-free formula because formaldehyde is really bad for you, so you don't want to inhale that stuff. So I used formaldehyde-free formulas, and the reason why I started doing keratin treatments in the beginning was because my hair was sort of brittle and dry, and it was my own fault. I was using products that I probably shouldn't have, products that contained a lot of alcohol, and it was just, what is this hair doing here? And it was just drying my hair out. And so because my hair was so dry, it was starting to break and cause a lot of just breakage and damage and stuff like that. So I started to use keratin treatments for that very reason. I wanted to infuse health back into my hair by adding, like, it's like, if you imagine your hair being like a straw, let's say, and then there's a whole bunch of holes poked in the straw, that's kind of what happens to your hair when it's damaged. It's like ripped and there's holes, and so I wanted to plug in those holes with keratin. And so when the first time I got it done, I have videos on the first one that I did, and then like an update a month later. It really was phenomenal. Like I really do, what's my camera doing? Okay, yeah, like I really do recommend them if you have damaged hair, unruly hair, super duper thick curly hair. If you relax your hair normally, then I would stop relaxing and switch over to a keratin treatment instead, because they're just a little bit healthier for your hair than applying like a chemical relaxer. So, but again, the dangers can be a formaldehyde formula, so you want to look for a formaldehyde-free formula, and you want to look for, you know, something that's gonna work best for you. I've seen keratin treatments that last for 2 weeks, and I've seen keratin treatments that last for 4 months. I've always done like professional keratin treatments, and they've always lasted for several months at a time. Some people can be really sensitive to protein in their hair, so if you are one of those people, then you want to be careful with keratin, because it'll actually cause more damage than good if you're like a person who over-proteinizes, is that a word? Over-proteinizes their hair, meaning that you're putting just way too much protein on your hair. That can actually cause damage. So you have to be careful not to do it too often if you're a person that's sensitive to that. But yeah, I haven't done a keratin treatment since the last video I did regarding a keratin treatment, which I'll also link down below. That was my video of Keratin Earth. It was, oh geez. It was a keratin treatment that I did at home, and it was just fine. It lasted for equally as long, and the results were great. I loved it. But yeah, so that was my experience with keratin. I'm trying to think of some of the questions that people have asked me. How much does it cost? It can range anywhere from, depending on what formula you're looking at. If you go to the drugstore and get like a $20 2-week deal, you can do that. Or you can go to Sally's. Sally's has some for like $25. They have some for $50. Or you can go to a salon, and that can, depending on your hair type and the length of your hair, it can range up to $250, $300. Just really depends. They're usually always like Groupon or Living Social type deals. So if that is available to you in your area, then you might want to look there at salons that offer keratin treatment specials. Again, just make sure that it's formaldehyde free. Well, I suggest, I mean, if you're not like a stickler for formaldehyde, then by all means go for it. But I always try to find a formaldehyde free version. What else? Did I like the results? I did like the results. I really did. Like, I felt like my hair was shinier, healthier, stronger. It definitely got my hair back into the swing of being healthy again. And then once I felt like I had gotten control of my hair and my hair was no longer damaged and brittle and, you know, I wasn't having all that breakage, then I was able to stop with the keratin treatments, and now I just sort of like maintain my hair using the products that I use. And that's been enough for me. But if you're a person, again, who relaxes their hair on a normal basis, then you might want to switch to a keratin treatment every 4 or 5 months, because it's just a little bit healthier. Oops, I kicked the camera. Than a chemical relaxer. So if you have any other questions about keratin, then just let me know. Leave them in the comments down below. I feel like I haven't touched everything that everybody has asked, but I tried to give just an overview of keratin and what's going on in my life of keratin or whatever. Will I get another keratin treatment? I would. I'm not opposed to it. I would definitely get another keratin treatment if I felt like my hair needed it. It's just my hair doesn't need it right now, and I can, you know, sort of manipulate and control it the way I want it to be. I can wear it curly, I can wear it straight. Oh, I know, another question people ask me. They ask me, once you get the keratin treatment, will your hair go back to normal? Like, because, you know, the keratin treatment will, it'll stretch the curl. It doesn't make it completely straight. Like, it's definitely not a wash and go kind of thing. Like, you can't, like, get in the shower. If you have curly hair and you get in the shower with the keratin treatment and you wash your hair, you can't, like, get out of the shower and go. Like, you're going to need to apply product to your hair just as you did. But it just eliminates some of the frizz, and it's going to add a little more shininess, and it relaxes, like, some of the curl. Like, it stretches some of it out. So if you have a really tight curl, like, so if you have like a 3C or like a 4A, 4B type curl, it's going to stretch that curl out, and so it's going to make like a 3C into like a 3A. Now, the question that I sometimes get is, will my hair revert back to normal after the keratin treatment has washed out? Yes, your hair will go back to normal after the keratin treatment is washed out. Now, my hair, when I would get the keratin treatments, my hair went, my hair is like a 3A, 3B, 3C, somewhere in that range. I'm not exactly sure. And so when I got a keratin treatment, like, it almost like just stretched it out to where it wasn't even curly anymore. It was just sort of like wavy, but it wasn't wavy to the point where I could, it almost didn't look good, like, if I wore it curly, like, because I would have to like scrunch and scrunch and scrunch to get like more bounce in the curls, because it was just sort of wavy and almost flat. And I really didn't like that part about the keratin treatment. So a lot of times I would blow it out because it just looked better. But you can certainly wear it curly, and other people might have liked it, but I just felt like my curl wasn't as pronounced anymore, and so I couldn't, so wearing it curly just sort of made it look messy. Like, it didn't make it look, you know, like fun and curly and bouncy, which is how you want your hair to look when you have curly hair. It just sort of looked blah. So, you know, it didn't look how I wanted it to look, I guess, because I just wasn't used to the way that looked. So, I don't know. I was not a huge fan of that aspect of the keratin treatment, but I loved the way it looked when I would blow dry it and flat iron it. And the time that it took to blow dry and flat iron was like half the time, maybe less. Like, it would take me like 20 minutes to get all of it done, and that was like amazing. So, that's another tidbit. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions about keratin or biotin or whatever, then just leave that comment down below, because then I'll remember and I'll respond to those actual questions. But just wanted to give you guys a brief update on what's going on with me and my hair story. And yeah, because some of you guys have asked for it, and so I just didn't want to leave you hanging. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.